Welcome to today's Explainer. Man, I am absolutely beyond excited to share this breakdown with you, because what we're doing today is highly impactful. We are diving into an analysis of over 500 AI tools, and we're filtering them down to the absolute best of the best. We're totally cutting through the noise to find the specific software that actually builds wealth and creates literally unprecedented leverage in a business. So if you want to know exactly what is working in the trenches right now, you are in exactly the right place.
Let me ask you something right out of the gate. Are the AI tools you're using actually making you money, or are they just kind of wasting your time? It's a really serious question. We live in this wild era where most of us are so easily distracted by shiny, overhyped tools. You know the drill. You sign up, you play around with a few prompts, maybe you generate a funny image, but at the end of the day, it yields zero actual business leverage. Well, today, we are changing that mindset completely.
Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1. Evaluating AI by true ROI. The cost versus output metric.
So, before we even touch specific tools, we need a ruthless metric to grade every single piece of software in this tech stack. It all really comes down to how we define input. Look, your input isn't just a $20 monthly subscription fee. It's the money, yes, but also the time it takes to learn the system and the literal human energy required to manage it. You have to weigh that entire input against the output, the business leverage it creates, the actual hours it saves you, and the direct revenue it generates. If an AI tool requires a massive amount of your energy but doesn't buy back your time or bump up your income, it is ultimately a total waste. Period.
Section 2. The overhyped AI traps. Clearing out the false idols.
To build a truly profitable tech stack, we first need to clear away the false idols. And let's just start with the biggest name out there. The source material for our breakdown has a brilliantly bold contrarian take here. It says, ChatGPT is the Kleenex of the space, but also the MySpace of the space. It's going to die a slow death. Wow. Despite being first to market, the analysis ranks ChatGPT firmly in the C tier. Why? Because when you look at actual real-world business leverage, its capabilities are being rapidly eclipsed by other tools that give you vastly better memory and tool usage for the time you're putting in.
Then, oh man, we have the stark contrast of Apple intelligence versus reality. We all saw the massive marketing hype, right? We all expected Siri to finally get this genius brain. But the reality in the trenches? It's currently rated as a straight F-tier experience. The source actually describes it as a brain-dead product right now that causes immense frustration. It's almost comical how far short it falls, to the point where it's honestly not even worth testing for your business until much deeper integrations actually roll out.
And we can't forget the technical traps like OpenClaw. Look, OpenClaw is a highly powerful open-source AI agent, but here is a massive warning for you. For the average, non-technical business owner, it is a complete trap. Hosting open-source software yourself creates severe security vulnerabilities and just endless support headaches. If you aren't a developer, trying to keep an OpenClaw instance running will cost you way more time and energy than it will ever save you.
Okay, time to shift the energy up. Section 3. Everyday high ROI enhancers. Your solid foundation.
And this brilliantly illustrates exactly what we're talking about. If those last ones were the traps, what are the actual winners? You know, you shouldn't think of these just as software. You should really treat these AI tools like literal human employees handling specific business functions. Need a financial CFO? You hire Frank, an AI financial co-pilot. Need a local receptionist for, say, a plumbing or dental business to answer and qualify calls? You implement Atlas. For generative video marketing, you bring in Higgsfield AI to churn out B-roll. And for accelerated learning and real-time research, you deploy Notebook LM. You are literally filling an organizational chart with highly capable AI. To really wrap your head around the financial impact here, think about $3,000 to $5,000 a month. That is exactly what an AI tool like Frank saves you. When you have an AI financial co-pilot that has perfect information, can instantly tell you which service line is actually profitable, and can instantly answer if you can afford a new hire, well, you no longer have to pay a human financial analyst thousands of dollars a month to crunch those exact same numbers. That is pure direct ROI. Now, beyond those foundational roles, you've got these specialized high-leverage multipliers. Whisper Flow is just incredible. It lets you code and create content purely by talking out loud. If you stumble or make a mistake speaking, it automatically formats and fixes the nuance for the AI. Then there's BuddyPro.ai, which literally clones your expertise, instantly buying your time back by answering client questions exactly how you would. And Granola.ai, that acts as this frictionless glue, taking perfect Zoom notes without those annoying recording bots awkwardly joining your meetings.
All right, Section 4, Ultimate Business Transformers. We are entering the S-tier stack.
Now we are climbing to the absolute peak of the mountain. Sitting right there at the top of the S tier is Claude. The stats on this are mind-blowing. Claude just caught up to ChatGPT in revenue, hitting a $30 billion run rate. But get this, they did it with 1/10 of the resources. The source specifically highlights Claude as an S-tier tool because it has far superior memory, vastly better tool usage, and way better coding skills. It's so powerful that the source actually shut down their venture studio for 2 straight days just to teach their entire team how to write code using Claude. It is the absolute pinnacle tool for business building.
But how do you take something like that even further? Well, you introduce a tool like Apex. The source playbook highlights the insane power of anthropomorphizing your AI, naming it, giving it a profile picture, maybe creating an agent named Kai Boss. This platform sits directly on top of OpenClaw, entirely removing those nasty security concerns we talked about earlier. It becomes a flawless team member that never sleeps, never takes a vacation, has perfect access to your data, and solves gaps in real time. Let's move to and see how this builds into true architectural leverage using a tool like Gumloop. Think of this as the Gumloop leverage playbook. Step 1. You do the hard work of designing the process exactly once. Step 2. You connect it to automate your critical flows, things like customer onboarding, complex sales processes, or financial reporting. Step 3. It just runs forever with zero manual input. It totally replaces complex, nerdy tools like Make or N8N with an S-tier automation platform that everyday business owners can actually use to eliminate repetitive tasks completely. It's a game changer.
Rounding out this S tier, we have 2 absolute giants, Revio and Gemini. Revio is the tool for businesses that sell by chat. Since consumers nowadays heavily prefer getting details in the DMs rather than jumping on a sales call, Revio acts as this direct sales automation machine, chatting with leads at scale and literally printing money. On the other side, you've got Gemini. Backed by Google's massive infrastructure, it features deep, native integrations into YouTube, making it an incredibly deep, perfectly funded research brain.
Section 5. The director versus doer mindset. This is the critical shift.
So, the crucial point is this. Having an S-tier stack means absolutely nothing if you don't have the right operating system running in your own head. You have to contrast the exhausting manual work of a doer against the high-leverage delegation of a director. A doer uses AI as a bridge, right? They ask a question, they manually copy the text, and they paste it into Slack or an email. They are still doing the heavy lifting. But a director is a human on the loop. They design the workflow, they co-create, and they force the AI to execute that final step. They tell the AI, no, you post it in Slack, you send the email. They just oversee the loop.
Which leaves us with one final, incredibly critical question. Take a hard look at your daily workflow right now. Are you acting as a true director, or are you just an AI-assisted doer? The tools to completely revolutionize your output, from Claude to Frank to Apex, they are ready and waiting. But they will only unlock wealth and buy back your time if you step back, stop doing the manual work, and actually start directing the system. So how will you change your interaction with your tech stack today?